One of the most debated subjects in the kaiju community is which reboot is better, Godzilla 2014 or Shin Godzilla, or what I will be referring to in this video as Godzilla Resurgence, mainly because I think that's a much cooler title. Also, yes, I'm well aware Gojira 5400 did a similar video, and I do recommend you watch it because it is pretty good. But now, without any further ado, let's get started. While both films have similarities in themes and in tone and a few other things, their overall messages are different. 2014's message is that nature must take its course, and trying to interfere or stop it will only make things worse. Resurgence is a commentary on the ineffectiveness of Japanese bureaucracy, how it takes forever to get things done, with Godzilla being a natural disaster, much like his American counterpart. Each message is done well, however, I feel 2014 does it a bit better. Mainly because the board meetings in Resurgence became laughable at how frequently they happen at times. And yes, I get it, it's a quote-unquote realistic interpretation, but it's a movie that features a laser-shooting mutated fish, tadpole, whatever the fuck he's supposed to be in this movie thing. I think we can dial back the realism just a bit. Then again, this was directed by the same guy who did Ava, and let's be honest, Anno isn't known for being subtle. In terms of plot, there's more going on in 2014's favor. You have Joe's search for the truth, the Muto's journey to find each other and mate, Ford trying to get back to his family and save them, and of course Godzilla in the background as the wild card, while everyone tries to stop the giant monsters. Resurgence is just basically Stop Giant Monster, with some not-so-subtle commentary and symbolism. Of course, there's nothing wrong with this, but I feel it could have benefited from character motivations outside of Stop Giant Monster. Hell, despite constant board meetings resulting in the failure to protect Japan, it's board meetings that solved the issue. Now, I'm not sure if that's just Anno completely fucking over the message, though that wouldn't surprise me, or it was somehow intentional because reasons or something. I'm not entirely sure. 2014 also has just a bit more consistency with its plot. The message also never seems forced, at least not as much as Resurgence anyways. But the film doesn't shoot itself in the foot when it comes to the message. In the end, humanity was helpless. There was nothing they could do. The only option was to let nature run its course. The characters in both films are a bit though much like the plot, 2014 has more going on for them. Ford is trying to save his family, as well as help stop the monsters. It may not be that much more, but it's still something. However, the characters in Resurgence are rather forgettable. Hell, I don't even remember their names. They have no real hook to them. Sure, I'm invested enough, but not as much as I am in 2014's. Presentation-wise, both do a good job. The music in both is great, though Resurgence reuses tracks from previous films, like not even remakes or remixes, but just reusing the original tracks, and it's kinda distracting given the changes to audio quality. 2014 at least had all original tracks. 2014 has better sound design in general, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like hearing classic Godzilla roars and sound effects, but at the same time, I have to ask, why not put a little bit of originality into it? Visual effects go to 2014 as well, but it's pretty obvious given the much bigger budget and, let's face it, Japan is not that great when it comes to CGI. So I won't spend any more time on it. Cinematography is a close call as both have very good cinematography, so I'll just say that I prefer 2014 simply because you have scenes like the Halo jump and Godzilla's arrival in Hawaii. Both are just so damn good, I get chills every time I see it. Though the atomic breath scene in Resurgence was fantastic. fantastic. So if you think Resurgence has the better cinematography, you won't hear much argument from me. In terms of action, both have some good scenes. However, there is a benefit to having more than one monster, as it offers more options. One of which being a monster brawl near the end, which, by the way, was very satisfying. Resurgence, again, has good action, especially at the end, but it's not as varied or as exciting. Though that atomic breath scene, amazing. Both films have a great climax, and it really does come down to your personal preference. Personally, I like the monster brawl at the end of 2014, and how Resurgence talks up Godzilla as being the ultimate life form. It's a bit underwhelming when he's beaten by the puny humans. Plus, kiss of death. Plus, I couldn't help but laugh my ass off when they started to pump Godzilla full of blood coagulant, and it looks like Godzilla's getting a dental exam. It's pretty fucking funny to look at. Now we come to Godzilla himself. This one was the easiest for me, because 2014 takes this category hands down. Mainly because Resurgence does not feel like Godzilla. He feels like an angel that looks like Godzilla. I don't like his new origin, as it's basically Destroyers and Heteras with a prehistoric creature mutated by nuclear waste, and he goes through several forms, the first two of which, or at least the first two we see, are laughably adorable. Seriously, I'd rather give these forms a hug than run away from them in fear. And we come to Godzilla's most common form that we see throughout the film, and I don't like it either. It feels like it's trying too hard to be scary and comes across as kind of goofy, with the tiny arms that look really, really silly, along with that incredibly overly large tail. Among many other choices, make this one of my least favorite iterations of the character. Then there's the whole most evolved creature on the planet thing that seems a bit tacked on, and, like Gojira 5400 pointed out in his video, feels like a gimmick more than anything else. It honestly just comes across like, our Godzilla is so much better because he can shoot lasers out of his back and his tail and has doomsday powers and is like the Borg and like Deadpool. I mean, isn't he cute? And that bothers me. But the scene that really just kind of irks me is that stupid scene at the end of the film with all of the humanoids crawling out of Godzilla's tail, and what, at the very least, I think it implies really pisses me off. But that is an entirely different subject for an entirely different video, so I won't dwell on it too much here. 2014 Godzilla, however, I feel is one of the best portrayals of the character. It changes things, sure, but they're not distracting or laughable. The bulky midsection makes sense given his sheer size. The narrow head, streamlined body, gills, sensitivity to light all make sense for a sea-dwelling creature, and I feel like it was just pulled off better overall. He just feels big, powerful, godlike, as if he was some great old one rising from the depths. Just everything about this iteration is awesome, hence why it's probably my favorite iteration of the character ever. Plus, I just feel as if 2014 was overall the better adaptation. It had a lot more to overcome, both being an American reboot of a foreign property, especially a Japanese property, because we all know how those usually turn out. But yet it delivered both a very good movie and a surprisingly faithful adaptation that borrows elements from multiple facets of the Godzilla franchise. It really feels more Godzilla than Resurgence does, because Resurgence just feels like a better version of Eva, from certain scenes that were ripped straight from Eva, just how it feels, and well, the complete and total lack of subtlety and oftentimes laughable fucking scenes that aren't supposed to be laughable just makes Resurgence oftentimes feel like Anno's own little pet project getting away from making Eva 4.0 by kinda sorta making an Eva 4.0. But, of course, we also can't forget that if 2014 wasn't such a big success, both critically and financially, Resurgence would have never been made. But don't get me wrong, Resurgence was a good movie and a pretty decent adaptation. And all of these are just my opinion. Tell me your opinion in the comments below. Did you like Resurgence? Did you hate Resurgence? Did you like Legendary's film? Or did you hate Legendary's film? Or are you like me and you like both and you think both are good to decent adaptations of the character and do it justice? For the most part, again, that ending tail scene pisses me the fuck off. But that's for another day. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on VidMe, or at least keep my VidMe channel tabbed. There will be exclusive VidMe comment there. And, of course, give me money on Patreon. Nah, I'm just kidding. You don't have to. But please. Abrupt, awkward ending.